What's up everybody, I'm Ro, and today I'm going to be walking you through my process for hardscaping a saltwater aquarium. This is the first in a series of videos that will address the beginning steps for getting a saltwater tank up and running, and I look forward to y'all sharing that journey with me. If you would, please subscribe and hit the bell icon for my future videos so you can stay up to date with the progress of this tank. That said, let's get started. One of the things you'll notice is that I spend a lot of time looking at the rocks and moving them around inside the tank. I do this for two reasons. One, I like to see all of the different shapes that I have available to me and that I'm working with. And two, being able to see it inside the tank kind of gives me an idea of what the final project's going to look like with either coral choices or macroalgae choices. This tank in particular is going to be a Dwarf Seahorse Tank, so there will be a lot of macroalgae involved in the final product. Right now, what you see me working with is a two-part epoxy putty. It is bifluval, it's aquarium safe and reef safe. It's just your basic two-part putty where you have to mix the two sides together before you're able to use it. It doesn't smell very good and it's got a very sticky texture when you first start working with it and mixing it together. But it forms a very strong bond that eventually can even have coralline algae grow on, or corals can attach to, and it just seamlessly disappears as part of the rock structure once you hit that point. You'll see me kind of working the putty quite a lot, getting it into the different cracks and crevices between these two pieces. What that is allowing me to do is make sure that that bond is super secure and strong. It is hard to get the epoxy putty to stick to rock sometimes, so I have to kind of go back and work the putty a little bit more just to make sure that both sides have it adhered. Sometimes, as with the next couple of rocks, I get the idea in my head that I think one of them is going to work for a piece, and I find out once they're in there they're a little bit too big or not the right shape. I really do try to avoid just a pile of rocks in the middle of the aquarium. Especially for a build like this. But no amount of me adjusting this one and moving it around put it in a spot that I liked. About half of the time and energy that I spend doing rockscapes like this is mixing putty. Fortunately, this putty does bond to glass pretty well. It's easy to remove if you ever need to remove it, but it can help create a strong base for rocks that don't have a flat surface or multiple points touching that bottom glass. It does not work as well with live rock if you choose to use live rock. But I am not a huge fan of live rock just due to the number of pests that come along with it. In my nano reef I did use live rock, and I am still to this day battling some of the pests that came along with that live rock. The next few pieces that I'm adding, I like to kind of refer to as spires. They kind of stick up above the eye level and the flow level of the rock structure. Sorry about my shoulder, I didn't realize at the time that I was blocking so much of the camera. Getting kind of down underneath that rock with the putty to make sure that it was firmly attached was really important. This next one I moved around quite a bit before I found exactly what I wanted to do with it. But you'll find that in this case the putty ends up being what holds that entire rock to the structure. So you'll see a few minutes of me just kind of sitting there holding it and waiting. Once the putty is cured, I'm able to move my hand away and the rock holds by itself. All of the rock that I did end up using in this build was previously live rock. When I got it and brought it home, I treated it with a diluted bleach bath and soaked it for about 3 weeks in that bleach bath to try to remove as many of the excess nutrients that these rocks had absorbed. We will see what the actual result was once we get this up and running. But it is a method that I have had quite a lot of success with so far. Piece, I tried to find a good spot to make a spire. I didn't really like any of the options presented to me, so I laid the rock down in what will be the sand bed eventually to make an island, and I called it done. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. If you enjoyed what you saw, want to see more of my projects and upcoming tanks, please like, comment, and subscribe. You will get the opportunity to watch as this tank goes from nothing into a fully functioning Pico saltwater aquarium. Thank you all so much.